Hey everyone, it's Autumn here and welcome to another Draw This Again. I know I just did one and usually you're supposed to take one picture and draw it again, but this time I'm taking one of my old digital pieces of art and redrawing it how I currently would. A couple years ago I got a drawing tablet and I thought that I could create really nice things with it, but I found that I really do not care for drawing with a drawing tablet. I like it for certain things, like if I'm coloring digitally, that's okay, but drawing freehand on a drawing tablet is not my style. So you saw the old picture a couple minutes ago. It's a girl with brown hair wearing a blue dress, and what are those proportions? So there's a lot of things that this drawing does that I realize are very bad things to fall into when drawing. One of those is she doesn't have ears when she should have ears. Her chin is very angular, almost like I left it in the sketch phase, and one of her eyes are closed. As you know, that's a very common trick for artists to use when they can't draw the other eye or the other eye isn't coming out evenly. And let's just say I did that more often than not in old pieces of art. So I'm redrawing her. You'll see that I'm sketching here, but this isn't all of the sketching I did. I recorded about a half an hour of what I was sketching and then stopped because I really needed to get up close and look at the details and make sure that this piece looked the way I wanted it to. So there's a very big gap in time between when I'm recording this and this next segment, which is going to come up now, which is the inking and coloring, or the coloring part. I inked off camera mainly because I wanted it to be something I could take my time, work slow, and not feel like I was being pressured to create it perfectly. The only thing I did have an issue with when I was coloring, though, is that I used a medium Faber-Castell pen instead of the small like I normally did because my lines were so shaky. So I kept picking up the ink and having to scribble it on the side of the paper or scribbling it on a spare piece of paper. The coloring itself I think came out really nice. The only thing I was unhappy with was the face. I kept trying to get it to look right. I kept trying to get the body to come out correctly, but for whatever reason my proportions and everything were not going as I wanted them to today. So I left it more plain than I normally would have. I would have gone back and added more had I wanted to, or at least thought I had the time to do it. Differences between this piece and the old one is her chest does not look like somebody stuck watermelons in her shirt. And she looks more natural. She looks like she still is bigger chested, but her body type matches much better. Instead of that really weird dress and like what is that waist? I gave her a big comfy sweater with still the v-neck and the embellishment at the bottom of the sweater instead, and she's wearing a t-shirt underneath because of the placement of the v-neck, which is something I would wear. I kept the headband and I kept the colors as similar as I possibly could. The headband was actually one of the bigger issues because I don't draw headbands very often on characters in my current style. I tend to have their hair flowy and wavy or down at their sides or back up in a bun. So trying to figure out how to place a headband where it wasn't awkward and it didn't look forced was kind of difficult. Oh, you'll see I go back and I reline this, which is something I wish I hadn't done now, but I messed up on the right eye and the green dripped into the face on accident, so I went and I tried to cover that up, but I think I just made the eyes look a little too bold. So the outfit itself is comprised of a light blue headband and a shirt that's about the same tone as the headband, but I switched the color on that. I made the light blue match the embellishments of her shirt instead, so that way there was a variety of tones instead of just a really light and then mostly mid-tones. So her shirt's very dark, her eyes are very dark, her skin is much lighter, and the headband embellishments are more mid-tones. Her hair came out kind of a weird, almost mid-tone, but still kind of light, which I dislike, but sometimes that happens. Her hair also is brown, but instead of going with the very straight, almost like her hair is made of cardboard look, I went with a very natural straight hair where it looks like it's just going down her back, and it's pulled back so it looks straighter than it would if it wasn't. I think that was probably a harder part, was getting the hair to look natural, because of the way I normally draw hair where it's very flowy or very curly or curvy in some way, because I like to give the hair movement instead of just leaving it flat. For this, I used my Canson XL mixed media sketchbook like I normally do. I sketched it in one of my other sketchbooks that I have. You'll notice I do that a lot. I'll sketch it in something that I don't usually show on camera, but it's something I use very often because it has perforated pages, so I can pull it out, tape it down to my light box, and then trace it onto the mixed media paper. I used a combination of my Ohuhu markers and my Winsor Newtons as per normal, and my Faber-Castell fine liners. I also used my Jelly Roll pens, the white and silver in this one. I don't know if I've used the silver. Maybe I did. Oh, I did on my earrings in the gouache painting that I did, but I haven't on one of these yet. In all honesty, I really like the silver. I think it looks really nice. It's something I added since you couldn't see her ears in the last iteration of this piece, so I gave her 3 cartilage earrings, just balls instead of hoop, which is what I normally do when I'm drawing myself or other characters, and I gave her silver hoop earrings as well. I almost went with the gold, but I felt the gold would stand out too much from the blue and the cool tones, so I went with the silver to match those tones. I'm also filling in her shirt with a very light blue, so I could give it some shadows. So this is the finished piece. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone!
Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to check out another one over there, and if you want to see the full playlist for this series, check out over here. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!